Okay, let's look at number one of the math review sheet, week 21. Okay, number one is just an order of operations problem. We've had these over and over. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you, but just remember when you're doing this, we always do our parentheses first. Okay, so we do parentheses, then exponent, then multiplication or division, then addition or subtraction. Okay, so in this one, since we have parentheses first, you're going to do this problem first, 5 plus 5. Okay, once you get that answer, you will then rewrite the problem. Okay, now this answer that you're going to have here, now the next part now, once you have this complete, once you figure out what 5 plus 5 is, you'll put it there. Now, these brackets still act as parentheses. So we have to do that next. So whatever that step would be, 74 minus whatever that number is, okay, that's going to go there. Then you'll times 2, and then that will give you the final answer. Okay, so that's number one. Let's look at number two. Number two, it says, write the algebraic expression 9 more pens than K. 9 more pens than K. Okay, so we need 9 more than the number K. So I know that all I'm going to do, 9 more, so I am adding to it. And I don't know what number K is. I don't need to know what number K is. So I'm just going to say, but you'll look at that and you'll say the number K, which we don't know. So K, and then we're adding 9 more. So not K plus 9. And that's the expression. That's all you have to do for that problem. Okay? You're going to have one similar to that on the back. So that's the answer to number 2. All right, number 3 is a division problem. Okay, so it's 5,705 divided by 35. And, okay, we're going to use it just like we have done all year. We'll set it up like this. We'll use partial quotient. I'll ask myself, how many times can 35 go into 5? It cannot go into 5. How many times can 35 go into 57? Well, I know that can go in one time. So over here, I would say 35 times 1 equals 35. So I'm going to use my powers of 10 now. So 35 times 10 would be 350. So I'm just adding a 0. Then 35 times 100 would be 35 and 2 zeros. That's pretty close to 5,705. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So I'm going to pull 100 groups out, and that gives me 3,500. Okay, and then I subtract. 5 minus 0 is 5. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2. And 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, so then I start that whole process over again. I ask myself, how many times can 35 go into to 1? Or, excuse me, to 2. I can't do it. How many times can 35 go into 22? I can't do that. So how many times can 35 go into 220? And then you'll continue that same pattern as you go through the problem. I'm not going to finish this problem for you, but you're going to follow those same steps. Now you're just dealing with this number here. Okay? So that's number 3. Number 4. It says a school supply company has 30 boxes of pencils ready to ship. There are 27,000 pencils in the boxes. If each box has an equal number of pencils, how many pencils are in the box? So a couple key words here. There are 27,000 pencils in the boxes, and there are 30 boxes. They want to know how many equal number of pencils would there be in each box. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to be dividing, but going to kind of show us kind of a shortcut so we don't have to do like the partial quotient like we just did. Okay, so I know there's 30 boxes. I know there's 27,000. No, excuse me. There's 27,000 pencils in the boxes. So I made a mistake there. So in the boxes, and there are 30 boxes. So I want to know how many are in each box. So we could look at this like this, but there's an easier shortcut way to do this. So what I can do here, instead of doing that long division problem, I can just take a shortcut by eliminating zeros. So I have a 0 here, and I have a 0 on the back end here. I can take this 0 off here, and I can get rid of that 0 there. Okay, now I can ask myself, how many times can 3 go into 27? So 3 times what equals 27? Okay, the answer is 9. And then I would just add my 2 zeros. Okay, that's a shortcut way of doing it. You can do it the partial quotient way if you want to, but since this ends in a 0 and this ends in a 0, I can eliminate the 0. So now I ask myself how many times 3 can go into 27. I know it can go in 9 times, and then I just add those two other zeros add those 2 zeros to it, and that is my answer. So 900. Okay, just a little trick you can do there. Let's look at number 7. Okay, I think we did this in class, but let's look at 7. They want to know each one of these represents. Says the plot line shows how many goals the Redbirds scored in each of their games. How many times did the Redbirds score more than 2 goals? So this is the number of goals, and then this represents how many girls scored. So let's look at the problem again. So we're here. So again, the plot line shows how many goals the Redbirds scored in each of their games, and how many times the Redbirds scored more than 2 goals. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the games, and then the X's are the number of goals they scored. So for example, in game 1, they scored 3 goals. Okay, so they want to know how many times did the Redbirds score more than 2. So how many more than 2? So I want to really look at, here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want to look at more than 2. Okay, more than 2. So it's going to be everything over here. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it would be 10 times. Okay, because you want to do more than 2. So we don't include 2 in that because we want more than 2. Okay, so you just include 3, 4, and 5, and then you just count the X's. Okay, number 8. Number 8, it's just a conversion problem. It says a baby girl weighed 18 pounds, 10 ounces at 12 months and 20 pounds, 2 ounces at 13 months. How much weight did the baby gain during this month? 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So I need to turn these pounds into ounces. And I know that 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So for this one right here, I will take 18 and I will multiply it by 16. Okay? And then you get that answer. And then don't forget though to add on these 10 ounces. Okay? Once you do that, you're going to do the same thing for 20 pounds, 2 ounces. So you would take 20 and you would times it by 16. And then again, don't forget to add on your 2 ounces. Okay? And that gives you a number. And then once you get that number, you're going to subtract these two. You're going to subtract this month from this month to get your answer. Okay? That's number 8. Number 9, I'm just going to have you look in your planner. It says Kevin needs to classify the triangle below based on its angles. Which class is correct? So I want you to go in that section of your planner that talks all about your the triangles, and you should be able to do that one there. And then the last question is, at State School, 25 of 520 students buy hot lunch. The other students bring in their own lunch. How many more students bring their lunch than buy? Okay, so we know that 25 of the 520 kids buy lunch. Okay, so they want to know how many more students bring their own lunch than buy. So this many buys, so the rest of them bring their lunch. So I would take 520 and I would minus 25. And that would give me my answer to that problem there. Okay, so that's 1 through 10, minus 5 and 6, which you are not required to do.